Good evening y bienvenidos to Chicago Tonight, Latino Voices. I'm Alex Hernandez of Noticias Univision Chicago. We cherish every weekday morning at 5 and 6. Thank you for sharing part of your weekend with us. On the show tonight, Cook County's new guaranteed income pilot is accepting applications for residents to receive $500 a month for 2 years. We'll talk to one of the program's outreach partners about who can apply and their hopes for the pilot. Dia de los Muertos is just around the corner. Find out how you can learn to make sugar skulls at a free workshop at Little Village's Open Center for the Arts. The Chicago Lowrider Festival is returning in person, and this time it's being held at Navy Pier. We'll talk with the founders about lowrider culture and preview the festival. Meet local singer and songwriter Gringa, who blends her Venezuelan and Midwestern roots into her country-tinged indie rock.
She always believed in me.
And we take you inside a quinceañera boutique and speak with the woman who run it. All that coming up. But our first story tonight, a new guaranteed income pilot for Cook County residents. We dive into the details right after this.
Chicago Tonight, Latino Voices, is made possible in part by the support of these donors.
There's a new guaranteed income pilot in town. Well, in the county. Cook County's guaranteed income pilot program began accepting applications this week, actually. The program will pay 3,250 residents of Cook County $500 a month for 2 years. Joining us now with more is Joseph Lopez, Executive Director of Spanish Coalition for Housing. The organization is one of the county's lead outreach partners for the pilot. Joseph, thank you so much for joining us today. Can you walk us through the eligibility process requirements?
Absolutely. Thank you, Alex, for having me. Appreciate the opportunity. I'd say the county guaranteed income pilot program is one of the largest in the country. Eligibility requires applicant to be 18 years or older, be a resident of Cook County. The pilot is open to households regardless of immigration status. In addition to that, folks, they have a income level of 250% federal poverty level, which is essentially for a family of four about $69,000 of household income. The pilot will be open from October 6th, which began yesterday, through October 21st.
Began October 6th, Thursday. Now, what information does the application ask for? What do those people need to have ready and need to know? What information are they going to need to fill out?
So it was intentional to provide the most user-friendly experience for applicants. So the information is very basic. Folks will need to put their basic information like an email, full name, a photo. Is also asked to upload, whether it is a government-issued photo or a selfie at this point. So that very basic information to get that application completed. Now, the application itself, there will be, if selected through the lottery system, there will be, those individuals will be engaged by the county to provide additional documentation, such as proof of income and residence.
What about people who probably might need help with the process applying? Is there any way that they can get it? Spanish resources, for example?
Absolutely. Our organization is one of the lead organizations working with county partners. There are 6 key community-based organizations spread out throughout the county. We offer, as an organization, bilingual outreach. So we'll provide outreach in Spanish and English across Cook County communities. We'll offer both informational sessions as well as application assistance to help folks apply directly. So we have a team deployed across the county hosting application assistance events.
As you know, thousands of people will be eligible for this program.
Correct.
How will people be selected?
Correct. The selection process will go through a lottery system.
Okay.
So somewhat as you think about lottery, it's randomized selection. The key is really to get as many folks who are eligible to apply during the next 2 weeks. And our goal is really to make sure that folks are aware of the opportunity, and our team and our partners across the county are working to provide these application assistance events. Folks may have technology issues. All of the application is hosted online. So the key is to have that internet connectivity access to devices to complete the application, and these public events will provide those opportunities to help folks.
How are organizations like yours spreading the word? I mean, you're here, that's one.
Right. I would say for ourselves, we're one of the largest nonprofit HUD certified housing counseling organizations in Cook County, serving over 10,000 households annually. 2022 is really our 50th milestone year. So we've been entrenched and connected to community throughout these decades. We're spreading the word much like we do with many of our other programs, which is through our network of community-based organizations and partners, government officials, and really across our social media platforms, across our current client base. From our housing standpoint. In addition to that, we are promoting through earned media opportunities, both in regular print as well as radio and television, in partnership with Cook County.
Once people are selected, how will they receive the money once they're selected?
Yeah. So the payment process is through a payment administrator, Give Directly, that the county has partnered with. That process traditionally will look like, once they're selected, they will set up payment mechanisms for that household to receive those payments. So they're really taking the model that has been utilized across the country in smaller pilot programs to receive these payments. So oftentimes that payment process will be coordinated directly with the household.
According to the U.S. 2020 census, nearly 13% of Cook County residents live in poverty. That's nearly 700,000 people. What can this program do for families struggling to make ends meet?
I would say that one of the key projective outcomes to this type of program is really to reduce income instability, to help folks utilize this additional income to pay for basic needs and to help stabilize both their current household situation. But we also feel that those folks know best how best to invest and spend this additional income. And prior pilots on a smaller scale have proven that out. This is a much larger scale. So it's really helping to stabilize household income, provide some economic mobility for households, and in addition to that, also improve their both economic and financial and health wellness overall in the household, given that there's alleviating stress, basic financial burdens.
Joseph Lopez, thank you so much for joining us today. And we'll be back with more Chicago Tonight, Latino Voices, right after this. Through the month of October, a series of events called Journey Chicago is taking place at cultural heritage centers across the city and suburbs. In Little Village, Open Center for the Arts is among the organizers of those events. A two-day workshop making calaveras, the decorated sugar skulls that adorn the ofrendas on Dia de los Muertos. The organizers say the workshop is a way to keep the traditions of Mexico alive here in Chicago.
So Open Center for the Arts was created 8 years ago in 2014, and it was a group of artists that got together to actually have a actual art space in our community of Marshall Square, Little Village. And since then, we focus on is providing a space that highlights exhibitions like the one that you see here, workshops and public art, and also really connect with community events. The workshop next week is we're going to be creating what is called calaveras, which is the sugar skulls that are traditionally made in Mexico for the Day of the Dead. They are made with sugar, and then they are decorated with different types of syrups and ornaments and all these things to make them however it is that you imagine them. One of the things that we are so excited about being in the Open House Chicago and being part of the Journey Chicago is to have people come to the community. You know, there's a lot of things that people say about the community or how they envision our community, community is beautiful. There's family, there's stores, there's people, there's everything that's in every other community. And we are here to provide the art. And one of the things that we want people to see when they come is first see our beautiful community, and second to learn about our traditions. And the sugar skulls is one of las calaveras is one of our traditions where we do each year just to highlight people that have passed in our life that mean a lot to us.
In addition to the open workshop, Open Center for the Arts is also taking part in Open House Chicago next weekend. So it's a great opportunity to stop in and check out the gallery. You'll find more about that on our website as well. A festival showcasing lowrider culture, community, and art is returning next weekend. It's the Slow and Low Chicago Lowrider Festival, and it's being held at Navy Pier for the first time. Joining us now with more are on lowrider culture and what to expect from the event, our brother and sister duo and co-founders of the festival, Lauren Pacheco and Peter Kifa. Thank you both for joining us today. And I want to start with you, Lauren. Tell us a little bit about the purpose behind having this festival.
Sure. Well, thanks so much for having us today. The purpose of the festival is really not to highbrow or high art lowrider culture and community, right? The purpose is really to provide an alternative platform for a broader community of people to enjoy and better understand the nuances and the characteristics of the lowrider culture and community, and to really sort of highlight the sort of origin story of lowriding, right? And it's really sort of this phenomenal Mexican-American Chicano ingenuity that is quite mainstream today.
Peter, what do you think it's about lowriders that captivates people?
It's probably the arts and the craftsmanship of it. Also, that a vehicle is bouncing or moving down the street. That's got to be a pretty big deal. But I think for me, and talking with the community, it's really about the community and the families that are behind it. To me, that's the most important, and that's what I get the most out of. I enjoy meeting people. I enjoy talking to everybody, and I think that's what we take away from it the most. That's the best part of it.
Right.
Yeah.
You're talking about community. Lauren, what does lowrider culture mean to the Chicago community and broader the Latino community?
Sure. Well, oftentimes the Midwest is not really sort of seen as having a thriving lowrider community. It's oftentimes sort of regulated to geography of like California and the Southwest, right? And so next Saturday during the festival, we'll have over 40 clubs representing the Midwest area, which is really a phenomenal gathering and celebration of lowrider culture. But ultimately, it's really this expression of identity, which is really grounded in master craftsmanship, customized cars, and that sort of master sort of machinery that is involved in the lowrider culture and community. And so we're just really excited about having people sort of show off and present their very best next week.
Right. And you were saying, how many cars are you guys expecting?
Over 250.
Yeah, definitely over 250, and then possibly 40 motorcycles. Roughly around 70 or so lowrider bicycles as well.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
that's a huge
definitely.
event, definitely. Peter, both you and your sister founded the Chicago Lowrider Festival. How do you think that plays into your mission and planning of the festival?
Well, how does it play into it? I don't really know. That's a hard one. I mean, we're brother and sister, so we're constantly fighting with things. But I think that since we are brother and sister, it makes it easier, and there's a little bit more passion behind it. I think that, I forgot what I was talking about. I think that there's more love. I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
Sure. My brother and I, we've been creative collaborators for over 15 years.
Wow.
And so we kind of have a really good idea of how each other sort of thinks and how we sort of can push curatorial boundaries. And so we have a really great formula of past festivals that we've, curated outdoors in the Pilsen community. And I think this is just a really lovely sort of collaborative moment for Peter and I. And as Chicagoans, born and raised on the south side of Chicago, it's really sort of in a historic moment for not only us and our project, but also for the lowrider community.
Peter, this is the first time this festival is being held indoors, and it's at Navy Pier, such an iconic place here in Chicago. How will it be different from previous festivals?
Well, the one major difference is going to be the outdoor festival. We were outdoors, obviously, and it was always usually somewhat of a parade. I always kind of talk about the cars being peacocks and they're strutting down the catwalk. This is different because we're not going to be able to be driving the cars up and down, but they're going to be stationary, which is a nice thing because then we could show off a little bit more. There's going to be a couple of cars that have full displays, which is going to be a little different, and we haven't really seen this for a while in Chicago. So I think that's going to be the major difference. There's a little bit more of a curatorial touch to it, like Lauren mentioned.
Lauren, for people going for the first time, what should they expect in this festival?
Well, it's going to be different because it is indoors, right? So we don't have the sort of beautiful Pilsen and urban landscape as our backdrop. But I think that we've played a really, we've really been quite thoughtful about how we are bringing in elements of the outdoors into the space from the artistic perspective. But also, there's going to be a lot of things that we're really sort of known for, right? Having really great black and brown DJs and other sort of folkloric and indigenous presentations throughout the event. And it's really sort of this takeover, this notion of a takeover. Lowrider Fest is coming into Navy Pier, this civic space, the People's Pier, and we're really sort of, stretching out across 170,000 square feet. And for this one day, right, it's going to just be an amazing and phenomenal celebration of lowrider culture and community for people who are enthusiasts, who are in the community, and people who are just curious. And so, again, we're quite excited for next week.
Definitely. I think you just answered it, but what else do you think people are going to take away from this festival? What message do you think people are going to go walk away with?
Sure. Well, it's Hispanic Heritage Month, right? And we're closing up the month. But I think what we hope for people to walk away with is that this is an American invention, right? The idea of low riding, right, which was really born out of self-expression, social change in our country, and it's really grounded in urban environments, Chicano communities, Mexican American invention, and so I would want people to really walk away with that as sort of a historical moment, a historical element, to understand the gravity of it. It's been over 20 years since the last sort of indoor event of lowrider cars, and we're really quite happy to present it to Chicago. It's Chicago's Fest.
Definitely. Yeah. Peter, we're almost out of time, but definitely we need to give out the details of the event. How can people attend?
Yeah, you could get tickets at Navy Pier's website. They have a QR code, and you can buy everything through there online. It's October 15th, 10 to 8, I believe, correct? 250 plus cars. Hope to see everyone out. Entertainment, food, beer, a record island, a whole lot of cool stuff to see there. Yeah, hopefully everyone's going to be out there.
What are you taking out of the event? What do you think? What message is the event going to leave for you?
Message is going to be that we did it. We're back after COVID, because I didn't think that this was going to happen again, and we did it together.
And it's a safe event for families.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Our thanks to Lauren Pacheco and Peter Kifa. In honor of Hispanic Heritage Month, we're shining light on some Latin American traditions. Reporter Joanna Hernandez joins us now to tell us more about a big celebration symbolizing a girl's entrance into womanhood. Joanna?
Alex, it's a beautiful celebration. It's called a quinceañera, a sweet 15. This week we headed to a family-run business in Little Village to show you more about it and the women who run the boutique.
Getting to a quinceañera is all about the details.
Where is my friend over there?
It requires a big puffy dress and, of course, a bedazzled crown.
I'm here feeling like I'm 15, all young now again, like all giddy, like oh my goodness.
In many Latin American countries, one of the biggest celebrations is a quinceañera.
Before, years ago, you would never see an all-over detail dress.
Evelyn Flores is the owner of a quinceañera boutique in the heart of Little Village called Alborada. She runs the business along with her sister and mother.
We opened in 2006. When we started actually offering a little bit of everything. We had wedding dresses, prom dresses, first communion dresses, tuxedos.
Flores and her mother migrated to the United States in the 1980s. Like many, her mother started working as a seamstress. Then she grabbed an opportunity to purchase her own shop. When Evelyn was 21 years old, she took over the boutique.
When we first started, my mom would make dresses. She would make the dresses. So we would all pitch in with, oh, I like the top of this this dress from this catalog, and I like the skirt from this catalog, but how can we make it different so that we can make it our own?
With that gift, the young entrepreneur continues to build a brand. She knows she owes her mother.
I think it's because she always believed in me. She never said I couldn't do anything.
Her sister feels equally dedicated.
Tenemos esto de es como una tradición, ¿no? Que ya dejan de ser niñas y ya se convierten ya en señoritas. Y ya de ahí empiezan como ahora sí a ver la vida como es.
When it comes to the party, the entire family pitches in to make it happen. People are willing to pay up to $2,000 for a dress. And let me tell you, the dresses are glamorous.
Por ejemplo, se usa mucho, a las niñas les encanta ir como con velos o colitas, entonces esto se le puede añadir en las mangas. Y las niñas buscan mucho, les encanta brillar.
The beautiful long train.
These women know there's an art to glitter.
And then here we go, the queen now, everybody. It's very hard to dance almost.
As you can tell, that was a really fun assignment. So I thought I'll show you my Sweet 15 dress. That was about 17 years ago, my beautiful embroidered yellow dress. And now, Alex, we toss it back to you.
That was also a very nice dress, Joanna. Thank you very much. The experience of growing up with bicultural roots can feel like being caught between two worlds, but it can also feel like having the best of both worlds. Local musician and Southern Illinois native Isabel Olive performs under the name Half Gringa as a tribute to her own culture spanning upbringing. She says you can hear the best of both of her cultures in the music she creates. Here, she sings her new release, Miranda, at the Color Club venue in Urban Park.
Some nights I'm reading out loud, hoping you'll hear me, Miranda. Back through the years and the sound comes back to haunt you. Please.
When I started writing the song, I was sort of thinking a lot about my identity as a person. It's a song that I think is also about love and a lot about self-love.
It's who you become in the end.
Trying to approach your past and things out of your control in your past that, you know, you can approach with care.
Feeling down, closed off, and when the truth hammers over the quiet.
I'm a little bit of a pensive person. I have been studying poetry. Both my parents are poets, and so I've always been interested in poetry, writing poetry, and I studied poetry in college. And so that's kind of what my entry point to writing songs was. I didn't really start writing music in earnest until I was like 19.
Reach back and comfort the dead.
Getting into the Chicago music community and seeing what was out there, I realized if you just write one song, you know, like it can be a catalyst and like a doorway that just opens and you're like, oh, actually I can write a song, and now I've written like, you know, a bunch of songs.
Don't be afraid of desire. Don't be the holy all-knowing.
Half Gringa is a name that basically when I started using it, I was thinking a lot more about, you know, my cultural identity, how I grew up biculturally. My mom's from Venezuela, and most of my family lives in Latin America on her side of the family. And I grew up in the Midwest in like a tiny town.
Don't be the bravest out there. You were scared. I was there.
When I struggle to find my place in the Latina community, it sort of helps to orient myself and know, like, it's okay if like your Spanish isn't perfect. It's okay if you feel like you have this sort of duality of your identity. Just acknowledging both of those things and interrogating them has been really important in my work, and it's something I want to keep doing.
It's who you become in the end.
And that was an acoustic version of Miranda. Details on where you can hear the full version and see the video on our website. Well, that's going to be our show for this weekend. Be sure to check out our website, WTTW.com/news, for the very latest from WTTW News. While you're there, make sure to read on our story about early voting in Chicago. Find out where you can vote before the November 8 election. And of course, you can still find our festival guide online just in time for all the fall festivities this season. And if you're watching us on Saturday night, know that you can also catch Latino Voices and Black Voices on Sundays beginning at 10 p.m. And also, don't forget to tune in to Noticias Univision Chicago every weekday morning. I'll be waiting for you. Now, for all of us here at Chicago Tonight, Latino Voices, I'm Alex Hernandez. Thank you for sharing part of your weekend with us. Buenas noches.
Closed captioning is made possible by Robert A. Clifford and Clifford Law Offices, a Chicago personal injury and wrongful death firm that is proud of its partners named Illinois Leading Lawyers by the Law Bulletin Publishing Company of Chicago.